What's up guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Kat, and in today's video we are going through the set times that have just been released within the last couple days for EDC Las Vegas 2021. I'm going to tell you guys where I will be at, and then of course give you a few more recommendations other than the recommendations I already gave you in my last video. And if you want to see any more EDC Las Vegas 2021 videos coming up on my channel, be sure to like and subscribe. It helps me, it helps you, and ring the bell so you can get all of the notifications sent to you guys. Day 1, you have John Summit and Solardo back-to-back Vintage Culture opening the festival day 1 Friday, starting at 5 o'clock. For sure, we are going to try and get out there for that. I saw John Summit at Global Dance, which I think I've already told you guys, but I saw him at Global Dance this last summer and I was blown away. Would highly recommend catching John Summit anytime throughout the weekend. And Solardo back-to-back Vintage Culture. I've seen Vintage Culture, was super impressed, loved the sound, loved the vibe. Have never seen Solardo before, but would highly recommend Solardo to you guys because it's been highly recommended to me. Next hour is 7 o'clock. I will be seeing more Kismet. I am looking forward to that set. Would highly recommend Lucati as well too at Circuit Grounds. So that will be our 7 o'clock hour, I should say. Moving on, I'm trying to scroll down to who I have highlighted next. So Medusa at 8 o'clock, and the next person that we have on our list to see is Nikki Romero. I was talking to my husband about who Nikki Romero is and what all Nikki Romero has done as far as collaborations go, his own music, so on and so forth, and he is really wanting to see Nikki Romero. Kinetic Field is one of my husband's favorite stages. He has just recently gotten into dance music within the last probably 3-ish years, maybe 4-ish years. So Nikki Romero definitely at 9 o'clock will be where we will be at Kinetic Field. And then our next on the list is Dalla at Circuit Grounds. I saw Dalla at Global Dance Festival this past summer, and I just feel the need to go and watch him again. He was too good. Depending on how we're feeling in the moment, we might just go with the flow and not necessarily see the people that we have highlighted, but we at least have a plan, or at least our weekend kind of mapped out so we kind of know what we're gonna try and do. But just to let you guys know, especially if you're first timers, it's really overwhelming, and just realize that you're not going to be able to see everybody that you want to see, and it might be totally different where you end up compared to what you had planned before you actually got to the festival. Really just recommend going with the flow as much as you can. When we went to EDC Orlando in 2019, we really spent our majority at Neon Garden that entire weekend because that was just the vibe that we felt was right. We had planned a bunch of different DJs to see, but at the end of the day, we ended up at Neon Garden. And we kind of had to remind ourselves that it was okay to do that. Don't get upset that you didn't see this person or that person. Just go where you're feeling good is what I can say. And I know between Corona Electric Beach and Neon Garden, we'll probably kind of plant our butts there if we don't have somebody in particular that we want to see, or if we're not those two stages are just a total vibe in theirself, and they're easy to just dig the music at. So we'll probably always fall back on those two stages if we need to. Gosh, you guys, I cannot get comfortable today. Okay, so Dalla at 10:15, and Dalla into Set the Sky. Set the Sky is starting at 10:45, so we might be a few minutes late, but I definitely want to see Set the Sky. I believe Set the Sky just recently sold out Red Rocks, or at least he played there. I can't remember if he sold out Red Rocks or not, but I've been eagerly waiting to see Set the Sky. But we also have Helden live at Quantum Valley at 11 o'clock too. So again, we might just be going with the vibe, and we'll just end up where we end up. But that's kind of where our head's at as far as right now. Set the Sky and Helden. So if we hang out at those sets for a little while, our next one we have that we would be interested in seeing is the Jaws back-to-back Peekaboo. We've seen Peekaboo before. Peekaboo opened up for Rez a few years ago at Res Rocks, and We really liked the vibe. It's just heavy bass music, and Jaws is very much bass house in a sense, but can really throw down anything. So I think that back-to-back is going to be really great, really special. I wouldn't have put those two together, honestly, but I think Insomniac really good at thinking outside the box as far as back-to-backs and any collabs go or special guests throughout the weekend. So yeah, that's definitely on our list. I really want to try this year too, to not bounce back and forth as much as I possibly can and just really enjoy and embrace an entire set, because I felt like the first time we went to EDC, because we were so overwhelmed, because there was so much going on, we were really doing a lot of walking and not a lot of watching. So I really want to switch that and not do a whole bunch of walking and do a whole lot of watching, if that makes any sense. So also too, when you're planning out your night, especially while you go through the lineup, you want to remember that at some point in your night, you want to eat, you want to fill up your water, you want to use the bathroom. Like, always take into account those specific things that you should be doing. Like I said in my last video, don't survive off of a chicken nugget. It's just not going to do you any good that entire weekend. Make sure you get a full meal. They have a ton of food trucks out there with a lot of different variety of foods, and a lot of foods that will meet your specific needs or your specific dietary needs if you have any. So make sure you put breaks in there. Also sit down. Like I said, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. You'll definitely want to sit down and rest for a while. Okay, so at 11:30 we hearted Jaws back-to-back Peekaboo, and then we also highlighted at 11:45 Side Piece. So like I said, this is probably going to be a situation where we kind of just have to go with the flow and see how we're feeling at that moment. I do want to see Side Piece at one point throughout the weekend. Side Piece is there, let's see, Friday and Saturday. So if I don't see them Friday, I can definitely see them Saturday. But it will be happening. I will be seeing Side Piece at one point or another. My husband and I usually don't split up when it comes to festivals like this. We kind of just like stick it out and go with the flow, and we kind of trade off as to like who he wants to see, then I want to see, and so on and so forth. And so at midnight that day, Friday, they have Emo Night LA at Forest House, and I realize this is not an EDM option. However, I would highly recommend you check out Emo Night LA. We did that down in Denver, and we had a freaking blast. Like, talk about going back to high school all over again. Like, wish I had my little band tee on and some Chuck Taylors. It was just a total vibe. It was so fun. It's just, I would highly recommend doing something like that if you just need a little teeny tiny break from dance music. Side Piece at 11:45. Highly recommend Emo Night LA at midnight. And then our next people after that, my husband and I both really do like the Chainsmokers. I think we just want to check them out, just to check them out, see what they're all about, just to say that we've seen them. We do like the nostalgia that the Chainsmokers brings. I do like to sing along. If you've seen some of my vlogs, you will know that I am constantly singing along to anything and everything when it comes to dance music. So the Chainsmokers is definitely on our list, but then again, we could just like see how we feel, and if we want to stay where we're at, we'll stay where we're at. But we did heart the Chainsmokers, and I've heard before that they're really good in person, so we'll see if that is the truth. And then our next person after that, I honestly don't have anybody marked until 1:30, which is Keizo back-to-back Knife Party. Done. Cannot wait to see Knife Party. What just like a master duo of dance music. Knife Party was definitely a dance music act that I listened to in the very beginning, started it all, and then Keizo's just king when it comes to bass music. So I think that's going to be a super hard set. It's also at Bass Pod. I didn't really hang out at Bass Pod ever at any of the previous EDCs before, so I definitely need to make an appearance and try something new. So definitely want to catch that back-to-back at 1:30, have that hearted. Then I also hearted Gianni Blue at Corona Electric Beach at 2 a.m. Gianni Blue is so much fun, such a vibe. He puts on such a good show. I watched a ton of his live streams during quarantine, and it's just such a good dance vibe. And Corona Electric Beach, like I said, is one of my stages that we always fall back on. It's just a really good energy overall. So I would highly recommend Gianni Blue at 2 a.m. And then I also have the Martinez brothers down at Neon Garden. Like I said, Neon Garden is another staple stage that we always fall back on. And the Martinez brothers were highly recommended to me, so I would highly recommend them to you guys. And then after that, I don't have anybody marked until 3 a.m. And that's the special guest at the Parliament Art Car, which I would highly recommend checking out an art car set that weekend. You will have some bangers on the art cars, some really big DJs special guesting on those, and it's just a little more intimate, and overall it's just a really good, fun vibe. And then at 3 o'clock, 3:03 to be exact, I also have Hearted Seven Lions. Seven Lions for me is a don't miss. However, if that special guest really comes through, I possibly might skip Seven Lions, which right now I'm like, probably not going to happen, but who knows who that special guest is. It might just be enough for me to not go to Seven Lions. We just saw Seven Lions at Red Rocks. So I'm thinking that he probably won't play the same set, but I'm not really sure. He always usually brings it for EDC. His sets are there's a lot to them. You're seriously going on an adventure when you listen to his set, and he is a master at mixing different kinds of dance music, and just that trance step is coming through for Seven Lions. So I would highly recommend seeing Seven Lions if you've never seen Seven Lions before. That is a definite not miss. I imagine we will probably end up at Seven Lions because we just adore Seven Lions so much. So Seven Lions is basically the only person that we have really down until 4 a.m., which is Test Pilot at Neon Garden. We've been wanting to see Deadmau5's Alias for a really long time, and we just love Deadmau5 as is, and anything that features Deadmau5, whether it's one of his aliases or any collabs, we just really embrace it because we love it so much. It's just a really good vibe. So we will probably be ending our night at Test Pilot at Neon Garden. Day 2 starts at 5 o'clock again with Side Piece back, and then it goes into Diplo back-to-back Lee Foss. Side Piece, Cosmic Meadow, Diplo back-to-back Lee Foss will be right after them at 5:45. So this is another opportunity for me to see Side Piece if I don't see Side Piece on Friday. The Diplo back-to-back Lee Foss, I just think is going to be super magical, especially with what Diplo is doing for house music right now, and Lee Foss is so good. Just a really good vibey house set. So definitely going to see those two to open up day 2. And then I do have Sage Armstrong down at Cosmic Meadow at 7 o'clock. So it looks like we'll be hanging out at Cosmic Meadow for quite a long time that day. And then at 7:49, we did Heart Elefante. My husband really likes Elefante. Elefante's at Kinetic Field, which is a huge honor. He definitely deserves it. He is just a true artist, and he sings, he plays instruments. I mean, he's really an all-around great producer, DJ, anything and everything. So really talented. I would highly recommend Arm & Hammer too if you like more melodic bass. 8 o'clock hour, I have Blossom at Stereo Blue. I have been dying to see Blossom. She is so good. She has such high energy. She's gorgeous. She's just so stinking cool. Like, I wish I could be friends with her because I think we would have a blast, honestly. She bass house, drum and bass. She just like really gets down and is really great at mixing different kinds of music. So Blossom is at my 8:30 slot on day 2. And of course, like I said, my husband's really down for anything, and I think he would like Blossom overall as well. So Blossom at 8:30. And then we also had Benny Benassi Hearted as well too. Benny Benassi doesn't start until 8:45 that night. and goes until 9:45. So he plays for a full hour, and Blossom will play for a full hour too. So maybe we'll catch 30 minutes of Blossom and then 30 minutes of Benny Benassi, but Benny Benassi is definitely one person I don't want to miss. He's just a legend. Moving on, so the next person that we have down is Diesel at Bass Pod. We love Shaq, so I think that's a lot of the reason why we want to go watch Shaq. And I've heard that he just like throws down. It's really heavy. He has a lot of personality in his sets, and I mean, he's a freaking like basketball legend, and just like, have you seen his TikToks? Like, seriously, I am so freaking pumped to go see Diesel at Bass Pod. Another Bass Pod set. Who knew I would be hanging out at Bass Pod for most of the weekend? Okay, not most of the weekend, but, you know, a little. Highly would recommend Vintage Culture at Forest House. Forest House is definitely a stage that I really want to catch while at EDC. So maybe on those like free hours where we don't really have anything planned or we're just looking for a certain vibe, Forest House will be the answer, and we'll just kind of mosey on over there. And then the next person we have highlighted too is Oliver Helden's at 9:45. It kind of seems like we might be bouncing around a lot, but I think as far as our highlights go, we'll just kind of stick or go where we feel the vibe is right. But I would highly recommend Oliver Helden's. He puts on great future house sets, just bouncy, fun, high energy, and he's just so cute. And I love Oliver Helden's. He has some bangers. It's just a total fun vibe with Oliver Helden, so would highly recommend him at 9:45 at Circuit Grounds if you need a recommendation. Then I don't have anybody until 10:58, so basically the next hour. Alan Walker at Kinetic Field. I absolutely love Alan Walker. I am so excited to see Alan Walker. I also have Gem and Tori and Matroda also as well on the 11 o'clock hour hearted. Gem and Tori we just saw at when they opened for Seven Lions at Red Rocks. Would highly recommend. They have such a good vibe. That will be a really special set right there at the Parliament Art Car. Like I said, it's going to be a little more intimate. You know, it's just going to be a smaller group of people. It's just going to be a whole lot of fun. So definitely would recommend Gem and Tori if you need a recommendation. And Matroda, I do definitely want to try go over to Stereo Bloom and catch some Matroda. I've been listening to a lot of Matroda lately, and I just cannot wait to see his energy in person, because the amount of energy that I get through his tracks, like, come on. Could you imagine what it'll be like in person? So maybe at this point we'll do half Alan Walker, half Matroda. Who knows? We'll see. But we'll either be at Kinetic Field or Stereo Bloom for sure that night at the 11 o'clock hour on day 2. And then moving on to the 12 o'clock hour, we'll probably decide between Griffin DJ set or Dr. Fresh. Dr. Fresh is more like G House, Bass House vibe. Griffin is just, you'll know a lot of Griffin's stuff that he plays, but I saw him at Global Dance for the first time and absolutely fell in love, and I feel like my husband would really enjoy his sets too, and those are probably going to be the two that we pick from, so I'll really let my husband decide at that moment, just like what his vibe is. The next person we don't have marked is until 1:30 a.m. and we have Bijou, Dead Mouse, and Joyride and Friends. This right here is probably one of the biggest conflicts for us right now, because those three people are three people that we've been wanting to see for a really long time. We've already seen Dead Mouse once, so maybe we'll skip that just because. Bijou is just like iconic bass house, and then Joyride at Corona Electric Beach, which is one of our favorite stages. I just imagine us probably ending up at Joyride. Joyride is just really high energy, a lot of fun. He is just such a great producer, and just really, I just can't wait. I really want to see Joyride that hour. Been waiting to see Joyride for a really long time, and who knows what kind of friends he will have at Corona Electric Beach that night. So I think that could be the definite vibe that we go for. The next DJ that we have down is Abraxas at Quantum Valley. If you don't know who Abraxas is, it is Demibo and Seven Lions. It's a side project for them, and it's a very good, upbeat, high energy trance vibe for sure, and I think that will be a really special set altogether. So to wrap up our night at day 2, we are ending our night at Wasteland with Lil Texas. This for me is like this is happening. We're not going to go see anybody else. So that is where we're ending our night. Day 2, Lil Texas at 4:30 at Wasteland. And so with that, let's move on to day 3. So again, the festival grounds opens up at 5 o'clock with Blossom and Z-Trip. Again, I will be there for Blossom if I can't catch her on one of the other days. And then Z-Trip, if you have not seen a Z-Trip set in person, I highly recommend going and watching. I haven't, but it was recommended to me by my boss at work. He turned me on to Z-Trip, and I am obsessed. And then the next person I have hearted is William Black at Cosmic Meadow, and that starts at 7 o'clock. And then after that, we don't have anybody marked, anybody hearted. Holy shit. Not until 9:30, all D&B set by Joyride. I'm so excited for this. I just think Joyride kills it, and he's gonna kill that. And I'm just so excited, and it's another set at Base Pod. Who would have thought? So if you guys have any recommendations for me from 7 to 9:30, day 3, put them down in the comments below. I would really appreciate it, you guys. So after Joyride, we have Andrew Bayer at Quantum Valley. We actually just saw Andrew Bayer, him open up for Seven Lions at Red Rocks, so I don't necessarily know if we will see him again, but I highlighted him. I keep saying highlighted, but I hearted him because we really did enjoy his set and would highly recommend him to you guys. I also have hearted Purple Disco Machine. Purple Disco Machine was recommended to me, so therefore I'm recommending Purple Disco Machine to you. Kinetic Field, 10:02, be there or be square. And then we really don't have anybody after that 9:30 slot that we're dying to see until 10:45, which is Lane 8 at Circuit Grounds. My God, I was so disappointed that I couldn't see Lane 8 at Red Rocks this past weekend, but I'm so excited to see that he is on this goddamn EDC lineup, because if he wasn't, I was going to be really upset. That's one of the reasons why we just saw Lennium, is because he's not on the EDC lineup. So it was really relieved to see Lane 8 on the EDC lineup, since considering we weren't able to go see him at Red Rocks. So I'm really excited to see Lane 8. And Lane 8 is at Circuit Grounds at 10:45, so would highly recommend him. John Summit is at Stereo Bloom at 11 o'clock, and Black Coffee is at Neon Garden at 11 o'clock too. Those are 2 other people that I would highly recommend that you guys go and see. Okay, sorry guys. So I would highly recommend Black Coffee or John Summit if you need somebody for that 11 o'clock hour. So after the Lane 8, the next person that we really want to see is Eric Pridds at Circuit Grounds at 12 a.m. So Lane 8 into Eric Pridds. I'm so excited. I've never seen Eric Pridds set before. I've heard really good things. I mean, I've seen it, but never in person. So that is going to be happening. Next person we have hearted is the question mark back-to-back question mark. Who knows who it could be? But Stereo Bloom right before is, oh my gosh, who is at Lee Foss is at Stereo Bloom right before, so maybe he's a part of that back-to-back. Who knows? But this could be a really special back-to-back moment, so I'm definitely going to keep checking to see who that back-to-back is at 1:30 on day 3 at Stereo Bloom, because I have a feeling it's going to be really special and somebody really, really cool. We also have Kygo hearted at 1:32 at Kinetic Field. If that back-to-back isn't as special as I think it's going to be, I will probably be at Kygo, or I will half it as much, half at the back-to-back, half at Kygo. Kygo is another person that has been high up on my list to see. I love the Trap House vibe. He is just a freaking artist, man. He's so talented, and I love Kygo, okay? I realize he's mainstream. I realize a lot of his music is out on the radio, but I love his vibe. I love it. And I've never seen him live before, so it's happening more than likely, depending on that back-to-back. We may be at Kygo half of the time, or we may be at Kygo the entire time. Who knows? But Kygo is happening at some point on day 3. So, from 1:32 until about, what time does he end up playing at Kinetic Field? Oh, he has like an hour set, if not a little longer. So we'll probably enjoy Kygo up until Troy Boy, who's at Cosmic Meadow at 2:45 in the morning. Haven't seen Troy Boy at all, but has been highly recommended to me. I love Troy Boy. I want to see Troy Boy. That's it. That's just how it's going to be. That's who I want to see on day 3. So at 2:45, we will be going over to Cosmic Meadow to see Troy Boy. Just a cool shake your ass vibe. And then it looks like what we decided on, we will really try and end our night, our entire festival weekend, with Slander back-to-back Set the Sky at Kinetic Field. Honestly, that's probably going to be the best set to end our EDC weekend on. It kind of will give you the vibe that you're looking for. You'll be able to cry because EDC is over, but then you'll be headbanging because, like, you know, Slander brings it. So thank you guys again so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this set times lineup dilemma. Here we have to choose everything video, and like I said, I can't wait to see you guys. Let me know who you're looking forward to seeing and what set conflicts you are having. Hopefully I'm not the only one trying to, which I know I'm not the only one, but like, who are you having to decide between? What has been hard for you to decide between? Thank you guys again so much for watching. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Hit the little notification bell so you can see my upcoming vlogs from EDC. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.